Hey guys, moving on to days 12 and 13 of the 2017 31 Days of Tarot video challenge. And the questions I'm answering here are, what tarot and oracle decks are you going to be working with in the coming year? So I'll start with oracle decks. The Sacred Creators Oracle is stunning, powerful, beautiful, and absolutely part of my journey in 2017. I got this toward the end of 2016 and started working with it. I do have a whole journal dedicated to the work that I'm doing with this as it aligns to my business. So, such a powerful deck, so perfectly aligned with where I am in my life at this moment. I love this deck. I can't say enough good things about it. It's part of my planning process as I try to think about how I want to put together my business, grow my brand. This is a key part of that for me. And I'm a marketer by day. So for me to say that is sort of an extra weighty thing. But Chris Ann has done a gorgeous, gorgeous job with this deck. The book is fantastic. She has really great bonus content on her website. Some of it's a little tricky to find, I'm not gonna lie, but I know she's working on that. I have my intention you contract signed, so I've committed to doing the work with this deck in the coming year. The other oracle deck that I really want to work with is Alana Fairchild's Sacred Rebels Oracle. And I got this deck a couple months ago, and I just, I don't even think I opened it and went through the cards. I didn't do an unboxing, I don't think. I don't remember looking at these cards, and all of a sudden I came across the box and was like, wow, what deck is this? Why am I not? Yeah, they're still on order, even, Intertrust. Inspiration. I mean, that's a really gorgeous card. Like, against the grain, she's naked. Like, very cool deck. Why am I not working with this? Yeah, so that's seeing the true you. Just really very cool artwork. I have her Kuan Yin Oracle deck, and I really like that. It's a stretch for me because it's not an indie deck. It is published through a publishing house. But that should not prevent me from working with the energies of all the cool decks. So, Sacred Rebels Oracle is on my list. Again, I think some of the themes in this probably work really well with some of what's going on in the Sacred Creators Oracle deck. So that could be another reason why I'm drawn to work with this deck in the coming year. Tarot decks. In my last video, I talked about decks that push me as a reader. Gypsy Palace Tarot is one of those. It's a deck where, for example, this is the Four of Swords. There are no swords here. What is that about? This is the Ace of Cups. The imagery in this deck is just very different. It's a lot of colors that I don't always work with. The imagery is very different than any other deck that I own. It's a deck that is a stretch for me, and I'm excited about that. So, like this Queen of Cups here, it's a different deck for me, and that will be a challenge, like I said, but looking forward to that. What else? The Lioness Oracle Tarot deck is one that I just got recently that I suck, and I haven't opened the box yet because I've been waiting to do an unboxing, but then I've been so far behind on these videos that I got behind on the unboxings as well, and so sorting that out so that I can work with that deck because the artwork in that is absolutely beautiful, very bold. And the last deck that I'm going to explicitly call out right here. Slow Holler, Slow Holler, Slow Holler. Did I say it enough? Slow Holler. This is my new favorite deck, guys. Like, I was telling one of my friends, if I could cut open my chest and put this deck inside me next to my heart and carry it around in my ribcage there with me all the time, I would totally do that, because I'm that kind of geeky and potentially creepy. But the colors, the red and black and gold in this, the way that it varies so that some of the cards are very close up and other cards are longer, further away views, the different perspectives, the fact that it incorporates work by so many different artists and writers, but there's a very cohesive feel, that every single card in this deck looks like it belongs in this deck, which is not the same as a lot of the other collaborative decks that I've seen. That's incredibly compelling to me. I think I love most about that is sort of honoring people's differences, but you can come together and be a community and you can all work toward that common purpose, and it can be really beautiful and really powerful. And the story that these cards tell together is just so powerful. I cannot rave enough about this deck, clearly, because I haven't stopped since I pulled it out. Everything about it is just makes me sort of rethink what I know about the cards, and I think that's another reason that I'm loving this deck. Like, this 9 of branches, so your 9 of wands, look at the mushrooms there. That's that lesson in, there's decay, there's weakness, there are things that are breaking down, but there's also growth there. That blend is a very complicated thing that I don't think I've necessarily gotten before from the 9 of wands in that same way. How those two things that look like they can be at opposition are actually working together and reinforcing one another. That's just one example, but this is my new favorite deck, so yeah, I'm gonna be reading this. The other thing that I wanted to point out is that I deliberately use a lot of different decks, and some of that is part of my business model, because I do have a business selling independently produced tarot and oracle decks. I get new decks all the time from Kickstarter, from Indiegogo, things that I see on Instagram, and I buy them with my own money first, and I don't say anything about wholesale or ask about that, because I want to see the quality of the deck. I want to figure out if the people producing these decks have their ducks in a row and can actually get orders out on time. What's the quality? Is it a good cardstock? Is the guidebook full of typos? Is it, is the print or the ink off? Because I don't want those decks in my shop, quite frankly. I think that if you're going to commit to doing something, you should do it, go big or go home, man. And if you aren't a proofreader and you want someone else to take a look at, and that you can't put together an error-free guidebook, that is the universe telling you to ask for help, that you need to connect with somebody that has that skill set that you don't. It's a lesson to you to stop holding everything in and share and work together with other people, and you can make this awesome thing that's bigger than just you. It can be a tool that can really connect with other people. So, anyway, so I buy all these decks, and I use all these decks, and I test drive them both in my own... Oh, Alan wants to be part of the video. Hold, please. yeah, and he helps in my morning readings. And so I read with all these different decks and I work with them because I also want to get a sense of what's the story that this deck tells? How do these cards work together? Are there other decks that it could work well with? When I have decks in my shop and people ask me, you know, what would you recommend for this particular purpose? Or how is this deck to read with? I definitely want to be able to give them an informed answer, and I don't feel like I can do that if I haven't worked with the deck. So as much as my plan is to start off with these 4 or 5, I absolutely know that there will be other decks in there. I would anticipate probably at least 10 or 12 other decks making their way into my workflow this year as I evaluate them for inclusion in my shop. He's so happy now. He's all blinky. He's purring. Yeah. Blinky. So, those are the decks that I am anticipating working with most in the coming year. And it'll be really interesting to go back and review this at the end of the year and see if those are the decks that I actually worked with and see what came up on my radar that I wasn't planning on. So those are the decks for 2017.